So today I'm going to be talking about teenage characters outside of young adult fiction. I really like reading adult books or literary fiction, etc., whatever you like to call it, and trying to compare the way that teenage characters appear to the way they are portrayed in teenage fiction. And sometimes it can be quite different, other times it's quite similar. I really enjoy doing this, so I actively seek out books which have teenage characters but have not been marketed as young adult books. So today I'm going to be talking about a few books with teenage characters in that aren't young adult and tell you what they're about and why I enjoyed them and why you should read them. So the first book I'm going to be talking about is Swallowing Grandma by Kate Long. It's about a girl called Catherine who lives with her grandmother. Her father died when she was younger and her mother disappeared shortly after, and she has no idea where she is, and so she's kind of on her own a lot because she doesn't really have anybody she can talk to about being a teenager and growing up, and her grandmother's really weird, and so she can't really talk to her about things. I really enjoyed it. She goes through a lot of different situations in the novel. She worries about typical teenage things like clothes and her sexuality. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll reread it soon. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Magic Toyshop by Angela Carter. I love this book. It's about a 15-year-old girl whose parents die, and then she and her little brother and sister go to live with their uncle, who runs a very, 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 very weird toy shop. And all kinds of strange, bizarre things happen because this is an Angela Carter novel and that's what they're like. Her writing is usually described as magical realism, so there's lots of interesting, metaphoric, magical stuff going on, and fairy tale, mythological elements, and I just loved it. The first time I read it was at university, and I didn't have my own copy. I borrowed it from the library, and then when this beautiful edition came out, I had to get that. 5 Miles from Outer Hope by Nicola Barker. It's really, 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 really strange. It's about this girl who lives in a hotel on an island, and her family is really, 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 really weird, and she's a bit weird, and then this boy comes along who she enters into a really, really weird relationship with, and it's really very strange and kind of surreal. But I enjoyed it, and the ending is quite interesting, and I really recommend it. It's quite difficult to describe really because it doesn't really have like a very clear plot. It's more of a character piece, and as I've said, it is really, 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 really weird. Next up is another classic. This is Bonjour Tristesse by Françoise Sagan. Or Sagan? I'm not sure. Anyway, French! This is about a girl who lives with her father and lives a very kind of independent, free existence where she can do what she wants, and there's nobody really to reprimand her because her father's doing exactly the same thing. But then his father's new girlfriend turns out to be quite different. She's a lot older than his other girlfriends, and she threatens to upset the main character Cecile's way of being by imposing rules on her and forbidding her from doing certain things. And so Cecile decides to split them up. It's a really good book in that it captures the mindset of Cecile really well. She isn't a very nice person, and that makes her really interesting. Plus the film is quite gorgeous. Finally, the book out of all of these that I've read the most recently is The New Girl by Emily Perkins. Unlike all the others, The New Girl doesn't really have one protagonist. It kind of switches between several. One of the main characters in the novel is this girl called Julia, who lives in a small town, and then this mysterious woman called Miranda appears one day. And Miranda is I think the best way to describe Miranda is like the manic pixie dream girl gone kind of wrong. Like, she turns up and she's got all these aspirations about making a difference to the lives of the young people that she meets and teaches a class to over the summer, and Julia is immediately really taken by her and she wants to be like her, and you know, she really admires her, and a lot of the other kids do too, but Miranda's not perfect and she's not going to stay around forever, and her time in the town has an enormous impact on everyone's lives. And I think it's a really interesting book, again because the characters aren't necessarily completely likeable. Julia also has a whole group of friends and acquaintances. She has two best friends and there's other people that she doesn't know so well, and they all kind of, all their relationships kind of shift over the course of the book, and that makes it really quite fascinating. So let me know in the comments, are there any books that you'd recommend to me, having watched this video with teenage protagonists in books that aren't young adult? Would you read any of these? Have you read any of these? As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Bookish Brits if you haven't already, and you'll see me in a couple of weeks. Bye!